Good luck. Good luck. Mother of God.
You can't let Alex H have Kha'Zix, and he's showing again why.
This is a payback week.
It's the barrel that gets the kill, and Roccat here surely going to pick up that turret.
Finish it!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to week 4 of the League of Legends Championship Series, coming to you live from our studio in Cologne, Germany. I'm Joe Miller, and joining me at the desk today is Trevor Quickshot Henry.
Thank you very much, Joe, and it has been quite a ride so far for the European LCS teams, and with each squad playing twice this week, I expect a lot more surprises. After the wild events from last week's games, I cannot wait to see what's in store for us here today.
Well, let's get right into it and recap what's happened around the league since we last saw you guys. Over in North America, well, it's all about TSM. They're still at the top of the table.
Yeah, and Team Solomid earned that position by taking down Cloud9 for the last game of the week. It's actually great to see more teams challenging for that top spot, considering Dignitas took down Cloud9 the week prior.
Well, Gambit were the first team in the European LCS to secure a victory against Fnatic here during the spring split as well.
Fnatic were completely outclassed by Gambit last week. Gambit took every single dragon in the game. They got both Barons. They had 11 towers to the only 3 of Fnatic. And even though the kill score was close, Fnatic never stood a chance in winning that game.
Yeah, we also saw some turnaround performances from last week as well, with the Super Hot Crew and SK having fantastic games. SK in particular on Friday. For Super Hot Crew, 3 of their players...
Yeah, I think both of those teams really stepped up. We're going to start with the Super Hot Crew. They turned around their terrible KDAs from week 1 and 2 to claim the top spot for week 3. They were in 8th place at 0.89 in week 2. They had 5.83 in week 3. That just shows, as a team, they stepped up. That Pantheon and Impaler definitely did some work.
Definitely did. And SK themselves have MVP Candy Panda from last week, but it was a team that stepped up their performance as well. Jez has talked about the team being too afraid of making mistakes leading up into week 3.
Yeah, and they played without fear during Friday's games. It showed in their gameplay. They dominated both Alliance and Roccat in very one-sided games, and every single member of the team stepped up and played brilliantly. In my mind, Sven Skjern did a little more work than everybody else. He went 9, 2, and 15 in both of their wins on Friday, and I felt like his ganks and counter-ganks were phenomenal.
I'd have to agree with you on that one. I don't think there's anyone that could disagree, to be honest. Let's take a look at the table, though, and see where the teams are currently in the rankings. And despite that Gambit victory, Fnatic still commands first place with 7 wins and that single loss. But hot on their heels are exactly that team that handed them their first loss, Gambit Gaming, at 6-2. Then we have Roccat in 3rd after losing the match to Fnatic last week. They now stand at 5-3.
SK Gaming managed to haul themselves out of the basement last week with their 2 wins, and they are now in 4th position with a 4-5 record. Copenhagen Wolves have found themselves in a bit of a slide. They're now tied for 5th with a Super Hot Crew, and both of these teams are at 3-5. Millennium is sitting in 7th at 2-5, and we're looking to improve that ranking now that they've returned from IM Sao Paulo and will be playing some games. And despite what looked like an all-round improvement in week 2, Alliance lost both of their games during last week's matches. That puts them in 8th place at 2-6.
Not looking great for them, that's for sure. And let's have a look at today's matches for you, though. And kicking off the first game, it will be the first place versus a last place as Fnatic take on Alliance. And then after that, Millennium have a go at Roccat.
Yep, following that game, Copenhagen Wolves will do battle against the surging Gambit. And then the Super Hot Crew will take on Millennium once again. It's the 4th LCS game of the day.
And the European Challenger Series comes down to the wire as a semi-final spin-up this week. The winner of both of those semi-final matches will face each other in a best-of-3 final that will take place next Friday here on our studio stage, immediately following the regular LCS broadcast.
I'm looking forward to the offline matches, and of course the first of those semi-final games takes place right after the matches today. So do stay tuned to catch Jat and Freak calling all the plays between Ninjas and Pajamas as they take on Tick, Trick, and Duck.
But let's take a look look back here at the LCS, here are the 5 players that we expect to make a big impact on the games this week. I'm going to cheat a little bit here, though, quick shot, and take 2 people from SK Gaming. First of all, Candy Panda. He was last week's MVP. And he and SK, to be honest, marched to a perfect second day from their side of things. He's got the highest CS total in the LCS overall at 3,455 and has only died 3 times in the 4 games that SK Gaming have won. On the other side, their mid laner, Jesus, he seems to have found a newfound confidence after what he described as a bit of a team talk, a bit of a powwow last week. And in their perfect second day of last week, he looked brilliant, to be honest. He brought that confidence back into his play, which made him a lot more effective in the SK team. And for me, both players have been a deciding factor in games that they've won. And if they're going to be able to keep on that unbeaten streak that they started last week, they've both got to be on form.
Yeah, we'll have to see if Jesus can keep up those roams. I'm also going to stick with the mid lane for my first pick, as it's going to be Expeke. He's currently leading the EU LCS in average CS at the 20-minute mark. 186 across all 8 of their games. He's extremely strong in the laning phase, mid-game and team fights, and he's a large part of why Fnatic are at the top of the table. Going to do a little bit of a negative slant on my 4th pick. It's going to be Shook. He's a player that gets banned out often. In the 8 games Alliance have played, 12 out of the 24 bans have been targeted at junglers, meaning Shook is in trouble. And in 3 of the games, enemy teams have actually first pick champions that he plays. So Shook really needs to find something that he can do for the Alliance team. Finally, it is Edward, the return of the Thresh Prince. He played Thresh and Annie last week. I'm ecstatic to see him back on the more traditional supports because they had a massive impact in helping Gambit win their games. Yes, Kennan's fun and exciting, but I feel like he's better on Thresh and Annie, and I'm hoping he sticks to them.
Anamumu.
Which
he has played. I saw where that came in from. Well, man, who knows what Edward's going to bring to the table. He surprises over and over. If you guys want to do your own stat tracking, though, head over to lolesports.com. You'll also be able to find schedule information, VODs, recaps, articles, and much more. You can also vote on today's games and let us know who you think will be victorious.
Yeah, this is a really easy way for you to chime in with us. Just click on schedule and then thumbs up for the team you think will win. We'll check in throughout the show to tally all the votes. We'd also love to see you in one of our seats here in the studio. To find out how to join us live in Cologne for all of these games, just click on tickets and you'll get all the information there.
And whether